Well, over the last 3 decades, there have been many different versions of the branch-Davidian siege.
And today, on the 30th anniversary, there's a group of people that are working to change the narrative surrounding the deadly interaction. 6 News anchor Bailey Bates is live in studio tonight with the new perspective.
Lindsay, Chris, today is a day that survivors and those close to the deadly interaction are reflecting on what they know and what they don't know after all these 30 years. David Thibodeau is one of the fortunate ones to walk away from a 51-day siege at what he called home.
At every single step of this, the government were the aggressors.
After all these years, he told a crowd on the 30th anniversary that there's been a lot unsaid.
Well, for me, these same questions that I continue to bring up have not been answered properly.
Thibodeau, other survivors, and scholars are working to provide a new perspective about what really happened.
The interactions between federal agents, the news media, and the Branch Davidians produced the final outcome, which was the fire on April 19, 1993.
Including Dr. Philip Arnold, who was trying to help federal agents understand the Branch Davidians during the siege.
There's something when the governments encounter these apocalyptic mystical types that bad things can happen.
And Professor Stuart Wright, who has testified and dug for the truth.
The ATF's investigation of the Branch Davidians was grossly incompetent.
But the stories often overlooked are those who survived and those who feel they were misconstrued.
So I need to state for the record that I would never condone or excuse the sexual exploitation of anyone. Having been the victim of that myself at a tender young age of 9.
After 3 decades, they just want the entire narrative, not partial.
I'm not trying to say that mistakes, terrible mistakes, weren't made on both sides, because they were. But it's time to start thinking clearly and rationing the truth for what it is.
Now, immediately following this press conference this morning, survivors of the siege and those close to this deadly encounter had a memorial for those who lost their lives and aren't here today to share their side of the story, guys.
Yeah, it's still very interesting comments still coming out at press conferences 30 years later. Wow, that was amazing.
It's still fresh on everybody's mind.
No
Absolutely.
doubt. Bailey, thank you.